Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Pivot with Power podcast. This is Lance T. Walker, your host with the most. And today we have the incredible pleasure of the company of Dr. Falisa Asberry, doctoral psychologist and expert in all things career. She is going to introduce us to her so you can find out who you'll be working with and a whole lot of other things you didn't know you needed to know. Dr. Felisa, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me.
Outstanding. Introduce us. Tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, what you do, and why.
Well, what you should know about Dr. Falisa Asberry. I go by Dr. Falisa,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a little history to that and why I do it. I won't speak about it now, but Dr. Falisa is who I am. I didn't start out that way.
Uh-huh. You
I
weren't you weren't born a doctor?
no, I'm saying that was not my aspiration. I didn't try to become or be a psychologist. Uh,
Oh,
it
okay.
sort of evolved into that.
Uh-huh.
So I'm gonna just give you a little background.
By all means.
I had no information about policing at all
Mm-hmm.
growing up. I had never encountered the police, never, nothing. Had a conversation with a police officer, none of that. So it was
Mm-hmm.
all brand new to me. I had no idea what I was actually jumping into.
Also, you became one.
I became one.
Uh-huh.
So my grandmother suggested when I had moved back to Cleveland, the Cleveland area,
Mm-hmm.
jobs were hard to find back in the early 90s.
Oh, we
And
don't know nothing
so,
about that.
well, yeah. And so it was interesting because I just was like, "Oh, why not? Let me try it."
Mm-hmm.
They didn't pick me in the first round, but a year later, and I had
Okay.
just had my daughter, same
Uh-huh.
month, they invited me to, to do this work. And I was a little bit hesitant, but I was
Mm-hmm.
dead set on doing something that was going to give me security.
Okay.
And so I ended up taking the job, and it evolved into more than I knew. Like I said, I had no information about policing at all.
So did you go street patrol or were you riding in a car cruiser? What was the
So when I went through the academy, that's the only way you can go in is to become a police officer. Means you going in
on a
the
beat?
patrol car. Yeah, yeah, that's
Okay.
it.
All
For
right.
in the department I was in.
Okay.
And so yeah, I went through the whole gamut and I became a police officer. And it was a little tough in the beginning because the city I started in was like they called it Little Compton. So I'm not
Ah,
sure if you
okay.
remember how Compton used to be
Well,
back in the
everybody
day.
remembers Compton.
And so they used to call it that. So
Okay.
I was only there for a year and got laid off and went right up the hill to where I retired from.
Ah.
But I'm gonna get back to once I became a police officer
Mm-hmm.
and having to understand the work and
Mm-hmm.
what the job entails.
Mm-hmm.
That's the part they don't tell you about. You
Ah.
see cops and robbers on
Mm-hmm.
TV, or you see the
Yeah.
crime shows, Law and Order and so forth,
Yeah. The
but it's
physical stuff.
more than the physical aspects.
Uh-huh. I'm
And the part
sure.
that was attractive to me was the psychological aspects.
Mm-hmm.
And it
Mm-hmm.
was so attractive to me to learn more about it because it was happening to me and I
Mm-hmm.
didn't understand it. And so I said to myself, if I'm not understanding this, I'm sure other people aren't.
Okay.
And I was right in the midst of figuring out what I was going to write my dissertation on. And
Okay.
so I know I might be going a little off track.
Now tell us, what'd you write your dissertation on?
This is why I do this work now, is because my lived experience of being a
Mm-hmm.
police officer and what it actually does to you as a human being.
That's where we're going. So you say when you do this work now, what work is that?
The work I do now is I support other people on being better people. What that looks like is whatever it looks like to you. If you feel like you have areas that you want to improve on, um, I'm your girl. I can support you on that.
But
What
that's kind of general. Isn't there something specific that you
that I
specialize in that you work on?
I do. But the first and foremost is to understand the human being first,
Uh-huh.
right? And then I have a niche where I focus on people who have done work that includes other people's trauma,
Mm-hmm.
which is also known as vicarious trauma or secondary trauma.
Mm-hmm.
That's the invisible vapor that we absorb just from being in close proximity to other
Mm-hmm.
people as they experience trauma. It's not
Mm-hmm.
yours directly, but it's because you are human and you
Mm-hmm.
care.
Exactly. It's kind of like secondhand smoke. You don't have to be a
Like
smoker to
secondhand smoke.
suffer the
Exactly.
effects.
Right.
And of course, with our audience being composed, mainly of, former DEI employees and leaders, and of course, transitioning veterans. A great many of them are subjected to the trauma of other people. Not even the direct PTSD or the direct feelings of rejection or whatever that they deal with. They spend their careers a lot of times dealing with other people's trauma.
Well, see, here's the thing about vicarious trauma. It doesn't necessarily affect everybody
Mm-hmm.
in the same ways.
Sure.
And so that's just a layer of
Mm-hmm.
trauma that you may
Mm-hmm.
have to endure as a human.
Mm-hmm. It's
Um,
just why it's so easy to ignore it, or for them to think
so
that they
easy
don't
to.
really have a problem.
Mhm. So that's the challenging part too, is to get people to understand that they are um, feeling the effects of it.
Uh-huh.
And what I mean by that is the symptomology that's associated with it. Things like you change your whole view of the world, how you view people, how you
Mm-hmm.
receive people, your
Mm-hmm.
capacity to endure people becomes less.
Mm-hmm.
So
Ooh, now
your
coming out of the
empathy,
DEI space right now, I can definitely see how that would apply.
mhm. Your empathy is stunted. Your sense of
Mm-hmm.
empathy is stunted. So there's various things other than just the obvious.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Your emotional system, your emotions are shut down, you're guarded. It's
Mm-hmm.
a way of protecting yourself from
Mm-hmm.
things you have to do in the work.
Okay. Okay. And so,
So,
with the first pillar of our four pillar program, the Pivot with Power system, being the mission that people are looking to rededicate themselves to, is your approach able to help them rediscover that sense of mission, that sense of purpose?
and see, that's where I was going initially when I said that I
Mm-hmm.
help people to be better people.
Okay.
Because again, that's just a layer. Vicarious trauma is just a layer
Okay.
of what we have to peel back as we do
Mm-hmm.
this work.
Okay.
So, of course, I'm looking at you as a whole person.
Okay.
And what is it that's coming to you that's affecting you and causing you to be XYZ, whatever it
Mm-hmm.
is. And that's
Mm-hmm.
what we dissect. That's what we take, back to the foundation.
Okay.
And when I say foundation, I'm saying to you, taking all of the skill sets, all of the experiences, your perceptions, and let's look at it and pull from it what is valuable to you
Mm-hmm.
and leave the
Okay.
rest.
And see that comes through to me as what led that particular person to decide to go into diversity, equity, and inclusion in the first place.
In the first
Okay. Or on the veteran side, what led them to go into the military in the first place.
the first place. Just like
Mm-hmm.
law enforcement, education, or any of those other industries
Mm-hmm.
that where you show you care about other people,
Mm-hmm.
you're
Yeah.
gonna be impacted in some way.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and
Yeah. This can be a
unfortunately,
rough world for people who care.
unfortunately, organizations and certain institutions aren't built to support people who care, but we need
Mm-hmm.
people who care. But
Exactly.
those
Exactly.
those or those structures aren't in place
Mm-hmm.
to protect people.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, they're fending for themselves the best way they
Mm-hmm.
can.
Exactly, exactly. And in a time like now where you have AI crashing down the door, speed is of the essence at this
Mhm.
point. So, having you as part of the mentor team in the Grown Folks Computer Club, I perceive as incredibly valuable because the faster we can help people rebound from their feelings of shock, rejection, whatever it is that they're going through, the faster they can regain their strength and regain that sense of purpose and that energy to go out there and actually do what needs to be done, because there's a tremendous amount of opportunity out there as well. I mean, we know that AI, has the potential to kill us all, but they said the same thing about nuclear power 50 years ago, and we're still living with that, so assuming that we survive, I'm glad that we have you
We'll
on the team to
survive.
help them do it better.
Yeah, we'll survive. The thing is, I think it's important for people to understand the value that they actually bring to the world.
Outstanding.
And it looks different from
For
different
everybody.
perspectives. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so I think that's the most important thing. We all have value. We've been here long enough, we have value, right?
Okay.
And so that's the part where I think me joining Grown Folks Computer Club is going to be supportive, because even if you don't feel like there's an issue or something that you need to overcome, it doesn't hurt to go back and just revisit your foundation to ensure that it's stable enough for you to do whatever it is you want to do.
Absolutely.
And there's nothing that's blocking you. You're not sabotaging yourself, because we've created a clear plan, just basically helping you to understand your wants, your needs, your non-negotiables, things like that.
And in the end result, your value.
Your values,
Because I
your
mean, it's
value.
traumatic enough anytime we lose a job, but to lose your entire career and have your name smirched and smeared by the president of the United States, telling everybody that you're worthless and you're useless. I mean, that's gotta sting somewhere deep down.
I think so too. I think it'll sting the your whole idea of concept, your self-concept of how you believe you fit into this world.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and just simply being able to overcome that in itself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What you've established yourself in a position, but now your position is being told it's not of value.
Mm-hmm.
Um, where does that leave you? Your concept of self is shaken. And so
Mm-hmm.
therefore we have to get you to a place of comfort, a place of ease, and
Exactly.
just being able to show people the value that they bring, or the value
Mm-hmm.
they have within them, is
Mm-hmm.
something I'm looking forward to doing. Um, I see the higher possibility in everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care where you
Mm-hmm.
come from, there's higher possibility for you. And that's what
Absolutely.
I look for in an
Mm-hmm.
individual. And I'm not shy to tell you if we need to pivot, if we need to shift,
Mm-hmm.
because I
Mm-hmm.
see it from a different perspective. I
Mm-hmm.
can really pick up on people's blind spots and support them in alignment into what they're
Exactly. Yeah, I'm really, happy to hear that. That warms my heart, because getting people to a sense of comfort and a renewed sense of purpose is, of course, a fundamental step in getting them back to a state of confidence, which
doing.
is where ultimately we really want to be, especially if we're talking about stepping back out into the job seeking world, or you're building a new career or starting another business, whatever way they decide to go about it. So your contribution I consider foundational
Mhm.
to where we're going with these folks, because we have the secret weapon. We know that so many of these diversity positions have just been moved and renamed, and then we're not told about it because they don't intend for us to know. The whole DEI thing was never really intended for folks like us with permanent suntans to take advantage of, but they were, it was very convenient to hang it around you guys' necks. So when the political winds change, they could blame it on you guys. But there's an entire new field out there called human intelligence architecture that is basically the same thing with higher pay grades, okay, just flying under the radar under a different name. But we could present all the facts in the world. We could present all the training and tools and AI, excuse me, courses and all that kind of stuff, which we do. But if they don't have a sense of purpose, if they don't have that desire that makes them jump out of bed every morning and their feet hit the floor and run in motion, then it'll all just wash right off of them.
It would be of no use, no
Mm-hmm.
use, right? The human intelligence With the
Architecture.
tech. Um, it's just a different way of saying the performance gets to be different than it was normally, than it has been.
And maintaining the human aspect of it, and that's where you come
part.
in. You know,
It's just a shift. It's a shift basically in what's happening.
well, it's rolling with the whole AI wave. As I heard, one of the guys say, master AI before AI masters you. There's a lot of people that are worried or scared of AI, not realizing that there's a tremendous amount of humanity that has to be there in order for AI to succeed. AI doesn't have intuition. I'll say again.
I said that's what I was trying to say, that
Okay.
humanity is human aspects are necessary. You can't do away with it.
Absolutely. You absolutely cannot. When it comes to creativity, when it comes to intuition, when it comes to ethics and control, all of these are human things that have to be there. So, those skills that folks in the diversity world bring, and also, by the same token, folks who come out of the military / law enforcement world, where caring about people. I'm trying to think. I'm Air Force, but the what was it? We don't go to war because we hate the people in front of us. We go to war because we love the people we left behind. See, it's that perspective. It's still a helping thing. Okay, even though you're coming at it from the position of strength and defending. With DEI, it was more coming from the position of let's cooperate. And then whether you're a soldier or whether you're an ambassador, there's still a war going on, and to know your place in it and how you can function and still be a viable human being in the midst of all of that is something that I think gets ignored to one's great peril.
And not to mention, as these folks transition, there also comes a period of what I would consider grief, where they'll grieve
Good
a certain
point.
aspect of the work. And I'm speaking from my personal lived experience in transitioning from where I came from to where I am now. So it's all about making sure you have the right mindset, the right attitude.
Yeah, and that's why I like to use the word mission, because there's a lot of folks out there doing the whole mindset thing, but this is way beyond looking in the mirror and saying a few affirmations. This is about a different sense of a sense of who we are, as opposed to just what we do.
Exactly. And so that it seems like it was a no-brainer for me to connect with Grown Folks Computer Club, because that's what I do already, is to just get people to a place where they feel like they can trust themselves. You know what I mean? Trust yourself. Love yourself and trust yourself. How can you go wrong with that? You've been umpteen years proving to yourself that of the value you are showing up with. I mean, how can you go wrong with that? You just need somebody to help you to put it in perspective.
I love it. You've been a champion for diversity for so long. Now it's time to champion yourself.
Exactly. And it's a trust issue. People don't trust themselves. I think it was you who said this to me, and I've been carrying it, and I've used it a couple times, where you said, and I don't know if it makes sense to you if I say it in this reference, but you can't see how tall the building is if you're standing on the inside.
From the inside, that's right.
Right.
That's right.
So that puts everything in perspective to me when it comes to talking about people in transition, people who have done the work, people who can continue to do the work from a different way of doing it. It just brings all that to me, which was a no-brainer for me when the connection with the invitation was presented to me.
I'm loving it. I'm sorry.
It's the same thing. It's all coming from the same place, up and out, right?
Love it. Love
or down and out,
coming
down and out.
through us rather than from us.
Right.
And I really enjoyed it. That was that statement was something I got from my mom back in my teenage days when I'm sure you remember, you leave high school, you're ready for college, those are the good old days when I knew everything. And I thought that I was 100% an island, independent, didn't need anybody, and that was one of the things that she used to say to me. See, Lance, you can't tell how tall a building is from the inside.
And that is so profound. I mean, if you really think about that, it fits a lot of, it can fit in a lot of analogies that, when we try to describe things to people, that is the truth. It's true.
Yeah. It helped me realize I needed to maybe start smoothing some of those rough edges. And I didn't know how long a process that would be.
It's ever going. It's forever. It's
ongoing. I got you. All right.
People, especially when I hear people say, I'm healed. No, we're not healed. We're healing. It's an ongoing process. It's a verb. It's an action word.
Yeah. That was something, ever since, my last heartbreak, I had to start really wrestling with this whole notion of not just, healing, but how do you know when you are healed?
When it stops bothering you, when it
stops hurting
you.
And nobody said that to me. It was a long time before I finally actually figured it out. Because I was walking around, oh, I'm healed, I'm fine, and then somebody would tell me, oh no, you're still very angry. I'm like, what?
And that's the projection. That's the part that we project out on the people.
Okay. And I didn't even realize I was doing it.
Fragmented, disowned, wounded, orphan stuff that lays in there until it comes up.
Beautiful. All right. Well, we have had a wonderful discussion. Ladies and gentlemen, you are in the presence of the esteemed Dr. Falisa Asberry. You can find out more about her work at drfalisa.com. And until next time, you guys do what you got to do. Keep building. Don't let anybody tell you that you're not who you were sent here to be. This is Lance T. Walker, your host with the most on the Pivot with Power podcast. We'll see you next time.
We'll see you next time.